Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Think Big podcast. We are here with the most handsome man himself, Sam Singh, and the man himself who ran across America. My God, Mr. Marlon Johnson. How you fellas feeling today, man?
Dude, I feel great, man. I feel good. I don't know. I feel like I can't even complain about life when Marlon's over here. Marlon, how many miles in are you?
We're a little over 400 miles right now. About probably 440.
You guys are 400 plus miles in, 440 in. How many more miles do you have to go?
Whatever. We gotta get to 3,100 miles. So my math ain't mathing. So someone's got to do that math for me, guys. Like
It's a lot. It doesn't matter. It's a lot.
2,700 more miles, I think. Or yeah.
That's huge, man. That's huge. Props to you. And that's, if no one knows, we actually, or if you guys don't know, we actually talked about this quite a bit several weeks back when we had Andrew Linder come on as a guest on the podcast. Basically, Andrew and Marlon and a few other guys are doing this amazing thing. Andrew's heading it up, where he will be the first person to ever run across the country from Santa Monica Pier to New York City, right, to Central Park, with a weighted vest on, the first person in history to ever do that. And Marlon, why is Andrew doing that? Why are you guys doing this crazy thing?
Right now, what we're doing, Sam, is and hopefully my audio is coming through, guys. I'm in the RV right now, which is fun. So we got Starlink. We'll see if it's coming through. Right now, we're raising money to bring awareness to the prevention of human trafficking. Unfortunately, it's something that goes on every single day, and a lot of people think it's, it's not happening in the U.S. Actually, the U.S. has become the number one destination in the world for these sort of heinous acts. And these are some of the worst kinds of people. So we have a fund that we're raising money. We're working with Sisters Rising charitable organization. People are interested, they can learn more by going to piertopark.com. But that's really a big part of what inspired this. And a lot of people have been asking, like, why even human trafficking? And a lot of people don't know Andrew's background in law enforcement. He actually got into law enforcement to prevent that atrocity. That was the reason and the rationale. He wanted to go out and find some of the worst people, just like our friend Sam here. He wanted to go find these two are men in my life that I know that are actively pursuing finding the bad guys, finding like the actual bad guys and putting them away, putting them down. So a big part of this is going to be raising attention for that. And what better way to raise attention than to do something that no one's ever done before? No one has ever physically gone across this country on foot with a 15-pound plated vest strapped to their body. So it's been nothing but fun. It's been nothing but good times. Definitely is a difficult mission. We're being faced with obstacles daily, more obstacles than I can even begin to tell people in a 45-minute episode or a 60-minute episode. However, the nature of it is when the mission is important enough, when the goal is important enough, when the why is big enough, you figure out all the hows and you start making things happen. So we've been making things happen, Sam. We got through Phoenix yesterday. We're working our way up the mountain right now. Like, as I look out of the RV door, I literally see 4 peaks, and that's what we're walking up and over, or I should really say running up and over. And hopefully in the next couple of days, we get to Albuquerque. I've been with the team since day one. I'm going to be taking a short intermission, Sam, as you know, to pop out to LA for a day, and literally in and out in less than 24 hours, out to LA and back on the road, because the guys, like, we are a tight unit and we are relying heavily on each other. So missing even one person, we already had one guy who had to go home to take care of some things with family, and his absence is 1,000% felt. So we've been fortunate where people have been supporting along the way. People have been coming out. And when I say supporting, I'm not just talking about financial donations, but I'm talking time, energy, bringing out meals, coming in, just kind of giving some hand claps and bringing and sharing their energy and sharing good conversation. It's been absolutely meaningful. So shout out to the people that have been helping. And also shout out to the girls back home at the Mindset Manor who cooked us up a phenomenal dinner last night. Shout out to Linda, Teresa, and Caroline taking care of us last night. Shout out to Pace and Laura Morby for hooking it up, letting me swing over by the house today to take care of some more errands. And yeah, Sam, I hope I covered everything.
You did, man. You guys are doing something absolutely amazing. The reality is, as much as the suffering that you guys are gonna have to go through, and make no bones about it, guys, there's no easy way to run across the country. I think you guys are doing between like I think it's like what 40 something miles a day typically.
About 42 miles a day, give or take 2 or 3 miles.
Yeah, 42 miles a day. There's nothing easy about that. It's actually incredibly difficult. You have to embrace suffering in a very unique way to do it. But the reality is, Andrew's such a phenomenal human being. I've talked to him about this, and he maintains the mindset that this suffering, freaking sucks. But the reality is, what the victims of human trafficking go through are infinitely worse. And if you retain that mindset, that perspective, it allows you to do some amazing things. So, dude, props to you, man. Props to you for doing the damn thing. It's inspiring for me, and I know it's inspiring for so many other folks. 100% shin splints. But let's get into it, guys, because we want to make sure that we are providing you guys as much tangible real estate value as possible. Let's get into it. Alejandro, what is going to be our talking point for the day?
Great question, Mrs. Sam. Today, this is an episode more for people that are looking to wholesale in real estate, especially if you're starting out. It's crazy. Honestly, Sam, it's crazy, bro. Like, I've been in real estate for so long.
Man, we just was like on wholesale.
Alejandro, you just your mic cut out.
Can you hear me?
There you go, got you.
What? What was that? I didn't touch anything.
It's all good, bro. Back in the game.
Roll it. What was the last thing you guys heard from me?
You could start from the beginning.
This episode is going to be more for people that are looking to wholesale. And I was telling Sam that it's crazy how many people still reach out to me about how to get their first deal done. It's so hard to remember that a lot of people don't know how to do this after you've been doing it for so long. It's almost like you're already past the fundamentals, like the basics of it. And people like, well, what do I do? What do I say when they answer the phone? And like, what? That is just crazy to me. So we're gonna say this, Sam, Marlon, we're all here to give you guys some value of the stuff that we did in the past, of how we started wholesaling, how we got our first deal. And what do you reckon, Sam, that a percentage of the watchers going to take action? What is it, 10%, 5% of people that are watching will take action? Not even that?
Dude, the sad truth is, as far as the industry is concerned, and as far as all consumerism is concerned, we'd expect probably about 1%, maybe less than 1%, to actually tangibly do it. But I'm going to tell you one damn thing, Alejandro, is that our people take action. People who follow us aren't here to bullshit, and they're not here to waste time. So I think we're going to kick that 1% in the ass. That's just my take.
Let's do it. I'll give you. Is it okay if I share a story of this one? Okay, cool. I have this guy. I don't know. It sounds weird since kid, but he's a kid. He's like 20 years old. He's in college right now, and he comes in. He started to. I think he only did one deal, and he comes in. He's in my Discord community. He was like, "Hey man, how do I get more deals?" He approached me. And we put him on our team to call some expired listings, some direct to agent. This guy has came and took consistent action. I even saw I helped him create his calendar. Literally only has about 10 minutes of breathing room. Class, call for an hour, class, call for, I think he comes in from 2 p.m., all the way down to like 7 p.m. Just straight calling, taking consistent action, submitting leads to the acquisitions we have in our company. And I'm like, man, there's very little people that are willing to take these type of actions, because everyone always wants to make excuses on why they can't make it. So my plan today, and for Sam and Marlon, for us to share with you guys very small tips, whether you have time but no money, or you may have a little bit of money but you don't have time. There's no excuses. Is there any other excuse you can think about, Sam? People say time. People say I don't have money. Which is there any other one?
I learned after looking at a good friend of ours, April Giuliano, who lost her home,
Oh,
who was effectively homeless and still did, I think, over $1 million in her first year of wholesaling. I do not think there is any viable excuse. So you can even be homeless and make $1 million in a year in wholesale. So, bro, I'm at a point now where, I mean, outside of you not having a damn phone and you living in a dark zone where the internet or phone connectivity, unless you're living in Antarctica, I won't give you a pass anywhere at this point.
mm. Okay. So let's begin. Let's say you don't have money. You're zero, but you have time. I'll give you some recommendation. Sam, you can tell me if you have any other ideas. I know you have tons of ideas. Marlon, quick question: did you started buying houses prior to wholesaling, or was it after wholesaling?
After wholesaling.
Oh, interesting. I thought you were buying houses before. That's pretty cool, and that's what pretty much get you into buying, right? The wholesaling.
Right. The wholesaling ultimately gave me a little bit of breathing room. It gave me proof of concept that deals existed.
Gotcha. So what you're saying is you can start just wholesaling and then eventually create wealth from there.
Yeah, that's a possibility, yes.
Okay, cool. So here's what I did. Here's what I personally did when I had time but I didn't have money. First thing I did was got into a business that's actually already doing consistent business. That is the less stressful and easiest way to make money. A lot of people tend to focus too much on, oh, well, if I work for someone, I'm only going to make, I don't know, 10%, 15%, whatever that is. And they're not taking into consideration on how consistent they'll be making that 10 to 15% on that deal. They're more focused on, well, if I do it by myself, I can make 10 grand. Well, yeah, how long is that shit going to take you? And how consistent are you going to be on doing that on your own? So the first thing you need to do is jump into someone's company that's already making consistent revenue in their wholesale operation. And one of the things that you can do to find these people, very easy. I'm still looking for people, Sam. I don't know if you're looking for any other killer callers or anything like that, but I know I am as well.
Yeah, we'll always have the space for the right talent.
Cool. Marlon, are you looking for anyone at all?
Not right now, no.
Yeah, my man's he's busy crossing America right now, the whole country. Big things. So again, join someone. Stop trying to do this by yourself, guys. Please. Stop trying to do this by yourself. I'm not saying that it won't work if you do it by yourself. I'm just giving you access to how to quickly make money within the next 30 days. If you want to join a company, okay. Javier just said he just joined the team. That's cool, man. What markets are you in, Javier? Gotta have capital. I think Anthony Johnson said he has to have capital. Try by myself, I crash hard. I'll be interested to know what challenges did you face by yourself, Javier. Either way, so let's get to it. So here's my take on it. Let's say hey, I want to run my own company, right? Let's say I want to run my own company. Jump into a company, jump into another wholesale company that's already successfully doing business because number one, you're going to get paid to learn the whole system. Number two, you're going to have some consistency. And first thing you can do is be upfront with that company. Hey, I eventually want to do this on my own. Okay. Quarter one, learn the marketing department. Quarter two, learn the lead managing department and closing deals. 3, learn TC on quarter 3. Quarter 4, learn Dispo. And if after that you still feel like you want to do your own thing, you already learned all the fundamentals of the business. All of those 4 departments. Is there any other important departments, Sam, you can think about other than those 4?
No, those are the main ones, but I wanna hit on something really specifically. And it's that marketing is cyclical, right? This industry is cyclical. There's ebbs and flows, right? What worked last year doesn't work this year. What's going to work this year won't work next year. So the reality is, when you're in the beginning and you don't have a ton of budget, I also want you guys to consider this specifically. You want to join a team because you want someone else to take the financial liability of being the victim of a shifting economy, of being the victim of a marketplace that's constantly shifting, right? So I know what marketing looks like. I'm really freaking good at it. I would argue to say I'm one of the best, as far as like a lot of young up and coming guys in terms of understanding how marketing needs to look in this industry to thrive. And it is a rapidly shifting thing. And if you're a newbie who doesn't know how to do a deal yet, imagine trying to stay ahead of marketing trends and understanding how to optimize marketing and all these things. That's another big thing. So it's not just understanding those four components that Alejandro laid out. A lot of it's also alleviating the financial risk of the ignorance debt that you have, not knowing how to optimize operating a business truly in a rapidly shifting marketplace. But yeah, continue.
I got a question real quick. Let's say I'm brand new and I'm hearing you and I'm understanding I need to know marketing. What questions should I be asking when I join a team, or what should I be looking out for? What should I be trying to observe? Where should my attention be? If everyone else joined the team and they're just focusing on trying to get a deal, what should I be focusing on or looking for in the ideal team so that I can be arguably the most successful?
I would say this. So first and foremost, if you're going to join a team and they're going to be doing any form of marketing, what you want to do before you even go and do that is you're going to want to go in and watch some older episodes of Think Big. You're going to see them in the title. It's called Lead Gen Mastery. We did it for about 4 or 5 weeks in a row, where we broke down at a really high level, high levels of marketing and understanding what each marketing channel needs to look like. So that'll give you some baseline understanding of what they all look like. Cool. Now that you understand, cool, this is in rough estimate what cold call looks like, what PPC looks like, what PPL looks like, all these things. You can go to these teams, ask them, hey, what are you doing for your marketing? And they should be able to, if you reference our foundational video of what those marketing channels look like, they should be able to recite to you, this is what we're doing and this is what it looks like. Cool. Can you just give me an idea on your base conversion rates, on your how many leads you guys are on average generating? Like, what do your KPIs look like as of right now, to see how I can help you amplify those KPIs? And guys, you don't need to go and become a KPI master and learn all these things. I give you all of these things on those episodes of Think Big. And any team that's worth its weight, right, is going to have all of that information dialed down and accessible, and they should have no problem giving it to you. What I don't want you guys to do is go into a team that says, like, hey, we're going to start marketing, but we haven't actually started it yet, or we're going to start it and we're going to spend some money and we think we know what we're going to do. That's not who you want to work for. They're experimental. They're still starting. They're a startup almost, or effectively. What I want you guys to do is go work with teams that have been doing the damn thing and have results. They don't have to be phenomenal results, but they have to have results, right? Because what you're then seeing is there is a track record of action in systems, processes, and people that you can actually plug into. But yeah, Marlon, I hope that answers your question.
Absolutely.
Beautiful, beautiful. I also had a lot of people get very excited and tend to want to learn everything at the same time. I've seen that. I had this the same kid I'm telling you guys about. He would come in here, dude. Instantly, the first day, he's already submitting leads, and then overheard him started asking questions about, hey, how do I pitch to creative finance while we're in the phone? I'm like, no, stop. What you doing? Focus on what you're doing right now. You're killing it submitting leads. Do not put that on hold. If you want to get paid fast and you want to learn faster, let's get your financial situation set up. Keep submitting lead. Don't worry about anything else. That's why we're here as a team. We're always here as a team. We're going to help you step by step. Once you complete all those lead generation and you feel like you want to start closing, great. Let's get you into that. But this is the thing. Who said it here? I think, yeah, Javier, when he's saying when you join a team, step by step, you focus on step by step. But when you're doing on everything, when you're doing your own on everything, it's overwhelming. It is very overwhelming. You have to do the marketing, you have to do the closing, you have to do Bro, I don't know about you, Sam, but when I first started and I was trying to do this on my own, following up was shitty for me. It was horrible. That was my weakness. I just kept on cold calling. If I can't get a deal, I just put in the CRM, forget about it. And as soon as I started hiring virtual assistants, as soon as I started bringing in people to the team, I was able to focus on what I'm good at, which is closing. And that necessarily won't be the same for you. You might be an integrator. You might be better at finding leads, how to market, how to bring in more quality leads. Sam, you're amazing at that. I actually became really obsessed with KPIs because of you, and I've realized how important it is to track those. So thanks to you. Do you still have that sheet, by the way, you shared with us that one time?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, if anyone hasn't seen it, there's an episode that we did, I would say maybe about a month ago, maybe a month or two ago,
Yeah.
about killer KPIs. So if you guys want to understand, I actually basically created the greatest spreadsheet of all time on exactly what KPIs you need to track, and most importantly, what the hell they mean. Right? We're saying KPIs, and I'm gonna tell you to track your connect rate, track your cash conversion cycle, track your this, that, and the other. And the reality is, you're not gonna know if you don't know what the hell it means. You're not gonna track it, right? If you don't know what the hell it means, you're not going to track it. And even if you do, you won't understand what it means in your business. So what I did is I created basically the most effective, practical, and in my opinion, the most important thing, approachable breakdown of these are all the KPIs that you need to track at a high level to basically get your business set up to do at least 7 figures a year. So if you guys haven't gotten that yet, do me a favor, shoot me a DM on Instagram, and I'll get that over to you basically by tomorrow, and you guys will be able to crush.
That sheet was fire, bro.
Thank you, dude. I actually have someone DM'd me and a couple weeks ago, and they were like, "Hey, they didn't understand." They had all these problems in their businesses. They had no predictability, all these issues that were happening in their business. And what ended up happening is the KPI spreadsheet, because I not only tell you what KPIs to track, how to calculate them, how to track them, but what they mean, like what the implication is for your business and how to alleviate the negative stuff. And what they basically were able to do is prove that the reason they had the bad results, the unpredictable results, is because their acquisition managers, one of their acquisition managers was horribly underperforming and falsifying their KPIs and falsifying what they said they were bringing to the table, what they were doing. And when this business owner ends up using my KPI spreadsheet, they start tracking killer KPIs the right way. They start identifying, oh crap, we've got lagging indicators that need to be addressed, and it's this one human being. They got rid of this person. Guess what ended up happening? Way more predictability in their business. And now once you have predictability, you can actually inject marketing spend. You can inject opportunities in your business and actually scale without it falling apart. So super, super critical.
I like the KPIs also to hold each other accountable on a daily basis. So like for example, like hey, if you want to have to make X amount of offers per week, and that means you have to make X amount per day. If you didn't make this much per day, then tomorrow you have to do what you're supposed to do plus what you're behind on.
Yep.
That helps a lot. So I took
Yep.
I took a lot of those things from that sheet you shared, brother. So
Yeah, I was
appreciate
about to say the sheet, like guys, we do it. Like we start. I don't want to make this too much of a plug for it, but if you guys aren't doing it, I'm gonna tell you right now. If you want to set a revenue goal for the year, like let's say $250,000. I think the title of that video was like how to do $250,000 in the next like quarter. It was
I
like
think so,
quarter,
yeah.
quarter. How to make $250K.
Well, you were good, bro.
Yeah, that one, guys. Like go back and watch it. It is literally like we set a goal. If I want to make $250,000 in the next 3 months with this marketing channel, we can even go so granular to know exactly how many, not only dials you have to make, but how many offers you have to make per day, per week, per person in your business. And if you do that, you will almost be guaranteed to make $250,000. So business is that simple. It's that predictable, 100%. So glad to hear it. Alejandro, I want to ask you something really quick, man. Because
Yeah,
we're
let's do
talking about people like making the most, right? Unleashing, turbocharging the income in the real estate. And someone's new, they're getting dialed in, they're getting dialed into other businesses. You know, you can learn the systems, the processes, the TC, the acquisitions. At what point do people start investing in their sales development?
Ooh, that's a good question. And honestly, man, I'm really picky when it comes to training people in sales. I think for me personally, and Sam, you can correct me if you have a different perspective on this. If you have no type of like background in talking to customers or customer sales, something about just treating your customer, your client, or something. If you have no background in that, it's going to be a tough project to start teaching you sales because I have multiple different levels when it comes to sales. First, I'm going to show you what to say when someone answers the phone. The second thing is I'm going to teach you how to start asking the proper question, which is how to disqualify people. Once you get into a consistent basis on those two things, then I'm going to start teaching you how to persuade, how to say things, which is pretty much call it playing chess. Say this, but don't say it too. If you say it too early, it's going to come out wrong. If you say it too late, it's going to come out wrong. When someone says X, you have to say this in this form, because I hear a lot of people in sales, and this is with any other company, Sam, is they try to debate with the freaking client. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? I wouldn't want to be on the phone with you if you're telling me, yeah, but your house is not worth. Yeah, but no, you asked him questions, and this is where, for me, my job is to make you admit that this is the right price to sell your home. So when it comes to that sales, it really depends if you're really good with people. Honestly, I find it really easy for the people that are people pleaser per se. Let's say you have no sales background, but you're a people pleaser and you really truly care about people. I find it really easy to teach them sales. But if you already have some type of customer or sales background, then all it is just understanding your product.
Boom, love it. Okay, and 100%. And the reality is this, guys. There's teams out there. I think this is so good. Marlon asked this question. I'm going to go back and re-answer Marlon's question with an addendum. I'm gonna tack an addendum onto that purchase contract. So Marlon asked a question earlier of like, hey, if you're in someone new and you're going to a team, what are some of the questions that you should be asking? Now I mentioned things like marketing. I actually want you guys to do this too. I should have thought of this before. But another thing that you definitely want to ask them is, do you do active, ongoing sales training? And what does that look like? Guys, if you are on a team and that team is not doing daily call reviews, if they're not doing daily role plays, if they're not actually investing time, effort, energy in making sure you can get better on the phones, that is working on your intro, your pitch, your offer, your exit. It's working on your tonality, your volume, your breathing, your cadence, your one-liners, all of these things, your objection handling, right? You're not getting the most that you could be. If they're just giving you a script or telling you to go make offers and that's it, and they're not working on your sales skills, what's not happening is you're not developing, right? Mm-hmm. And I think I speak for both these guys here when I say this. Sales and marketing are probably the two greatest skill sets you'll ever learn in this industry. As far as I'm concerned, I think we'd all agree in that. Sales and marketing are the two greatest skill sets you'll learn in this industry, but you won't perfect them if you don't actually work on them. So if you're going to these teams, ask them, hey, how often are you guys doing call reviews? How often are you guys doing role plays? How often are you doing objection handling, right? I want to learn about novations and wraps and Morby methods. Do you guys have days of theory where you go over these new things that we could then add to our tool belt to offer to sellers? And if they don't have that stuff, nothing against them, move on and find someone who does, because there's teams who actually invest. There's teams who I'm in a mastermind, a mentorship program that I spend a ton of money in. My team, by virtue of that, has access to minimum 4 sales pods a week and then 1 gigantic quarterly sales boot camp. And that's something we pay additional for. That's not including the internal sales training that we have in the team. So it's another huge thing. And guys, let's just say going down the team route isn't for you, right? And you want to go and still be on your own, right? You'd rather take a little bit of a longer route and do it on your own, and you still want to perfect your sales training. The reality is just tons of resources out there for it, right? There's tons of communities and mentorships and masterminds that actually invest in sales training. There are mentorships entirely dedicated to sales trainings, and some are really affordable, right? Alejandro, do you know of any, if I'm still a little bit on the newer side, I don't want to jump on someone's team, but I want to work on my sales skill and I want to get some coaching and some help on it. Do you know of where I can go and get some sales help?
Absolutely. You can join my Discord for that. You could definitely join my Discord. We have Zooms and we do sales. I mean, that's all I do is just talk about sales. We do this daily, Sam. So yeah, thank you for even mentioning that. If you're not training daily, you got to go somewhere else.
Dude, I
And
love it. And I'll say this, guys. We very often find that if we have someone in an acquisitions role and their personality seems right, and we know they're putting in the KPIs, right? Their inputs are there, but for whatever reason, the results aren't, and we know we're giving enough leads. So it's not a marketing issue, it's not a personality issue, it's not a work ethic issue. What does it end up being? By process of elimination, it's a sales ability issue, right? And then that's something we can train, we can work on. It's reps, right? It's why Marlon, for years, I mean, to this day, I think still is once a week doing role play trainings, teaching people how to approach sellers and helping them understand how to make these cold calls and how to make these conversations happen. So you guys have a ton of opportunities, right? Alejandro's a great resource for it. There's tons of other mentorships that teach it, and I think they all teach it astronomically insane, though. I think the price points are kind of bonkers of what they charge. But okay, Alejandro, people, they have the option to get on the team, right? That can help them get away from the W-2 life, right? That's a great way. Maybe they're a newbie and they want to do it on their own. They're okay with taking that financial risk a little bit on their own and investing a little bit more in themselves. Cool. One thing that people don't talk about when it comes down to wholesaling and getting started in it, right, is at what point do people go from being a doer, doing the tasks, to becoming a manager in managing other people doing the tasks?
That's a great question. Are you asking me like when do they start hiring?
Effectively.
Okay. And give me like a hypothetical example, Sam.
So we've got Anthony Johnson in the chat, right? Anthony Johnson used to work on a couple teams. It looked like it didn't go well. He might be doing some things on his own. Anthony Johnson's gonna, because he watches Think Big, he gets optimized, he goes and watches Lead Gen Mastery, he goes and watches Killer KPIs, he goes and does all the things, and he's starting to get some traction. He starts to get some deals, getting 2-3 deals a month, right? Now Anthony needs to get some of his time back, right? So up until this point, Anthony has been a doer in every role, right? Is there a certain amount of time that he should wait before he becomes a manager and starts hiring people? Or does he have to wait till a certain deal number, a certain money number? Or how do you approach when Anthony will be ready to start getting into a management position?
There's actually two different approaches, Sam. One is the approach that you talk about a lot, and the other approach is the approach that I actually took when I first started, which is understanding all the basics of each department to a point where I can simply teach someone else to do it on my behalf. That is one way to do it. And some people are just like that. Some people just like to have control over all departments and or understand what their team's supposed to be doing. Or you can do it the gangster way, which is how Sam does it. Is he hire? What do you call that method, Sam? Is when you hire from up to bottom?
Top down hiring.
Top down hiring. So in that case, like Anthony said in the chat says, when you know all roles, you don't necessarily have to know all roles. Sam, what roles would you say that you didn't even have to figure out before you hired?
Bro, a ton. So here's the thing, guys. I'm going to be very clear here. The answer, as far as I'm concerned, I don't believe in bottom-up hiring. I don't believe in being in the trenches and doing every damn role and wearing every damn hat, at least for a little bit. Guys, I have probably done transaction coordination on one deal in my life, and that is out of 200 plus deals. We check, we're like probably over 220 deals now. I think we're about at 220 to 230, somewhere around there. And it's like I've done TC work myself one time, and that was my first deal ever, and I had no freaking clue what I was doing, but it was a cash deal, so it was okay. So the reality is this, guys. My view is you should start getting into a management role or a hiring role or a team building role. It's not about how many times have you done the cold calls, how many times have you closed the deal. It's not it. It's all about how soon and how quickly can you define what success in that role looks like, right? I don't need to close a seller myself to know how to define what closing a seller looks like in an SOP. I don't need to make cold calls myself to know or to get the information or the resources of the blueprints to understand this is what a cold call script is. This is what the what the 4 pillars of motivation are, and these are how many dials I want my cold caller to make a day for us to be productive and successful. The key is, can you establish and can you define success in each role? The second that you can is the second that you can start hiring. I always say this, guys, if Alex Hormozy or Elon Musk were to start wholesaling tomorrow, you better bet they're not going to pick up the phone and cold call themselves. What are they going to do? They're going to go to someone who has the blueprint, who has the SOPs, whether that's for free on YouTube or they're going to pay a mentorship $30,000, or hell, they show up to Marketing Secrets with me next Saturday and get all of the information for free. They're going to get the blueprint to what success looks like. Then they're going to go find an operator, a director, a CEO, a COO, someone, and they're going to say, hey, Mr. Operator, guy who's going to do the work for me, here's what success looks like. Here are the blueprints. I need you to then go backfill all the positions. I need you to go do all the work. And in a minute point, same thing. If I were to give you a masterclass spreadsheet on how to train a cold caller, what KPIs they need to track, what success looks like for them, you don't have to go cold call yourself. You just have to go hire a virtual assistant and then hold them to the blueprint I gave you. And that is easy. And what's kind of gangster is, you know what I just said? Hold them to the blueprint I gave you. That's called management. You can actually SOP management and hire a manager for the cold caller too. So it's actually, in my opinion, people should start hiring sooner. Honestly, as soon as they can define what success looks like.
Yep. I have a question here by Zane. He says, "Do any of you have people on your team who also work a W-2 full time? If so, what does that look like as far as the time of the day they're on a dialer and for how long?" Now, I don't have people specifically within my company that have W-2 that work full time, but I do have other people that would make calls outside of like their W-2, just for their own benefits and for us to team up and work together. And what that looks like is, right now, if you're on Eastern time, is 8:41. In Arizona time, what is it, Sam? That's it's 5:41.
Yeah, 5:41.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which means if I'm coming home at 5 o'clock for my W-2, it's still 2 p.m. in Arizona. I'm going to call leads in Arizona. I'm going to call leads in Vegas. I'm going to call leads in California. It's still early over there, so when I get home, I still have the time. Now, this is, of course, if you have $0, you don't have anything where to start. That's what I would do. There's zero excuses on why you shouldn't have a deal, or why you shouldn't be doing this necessary action to get a deal. Now, if you have some funds to the side, well, whatever that looks like, I would definitely hire a VA that can get all your leads for you, that can submit it to the CRM, and then all those leads you're generating, you can bring that over to a team that can close it for you. So by the time you get home, you probably have a contract. That's the gangster way. And I think that's the way Sam would do it. I'm like, hey, I'm not doing this shit. I'm just going to hire this person and let this person close the deals for me, and I'll make some money from it. Because again, if you're doing this by yourself, how consistent can you be? That's a challenge. Because a lot of people are way too they're way too comfortable nowadays. They just want to, if I don't get a deal within a month or 90 days, I'm going to quit. It's crazy. I've been in this for 4 years now, and until this day, we're still adjusting the company. And there's people that just want to come in, get rich, whatever, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. That's the wrong mindset. So for you, if you want to just get 10%, 15%, 30%, whatever that looks like, a shorter, small pie or a smaller pie, but it's consistent, dude, all day, that makes sense. And at some point, once you bring in that revenue and you want to get 100% of the revenue, then go hire other people on your own. So that's what I would do on W-2. And then, yes, that's what it looks like, Zane, is, when they get home, they'll make some dials. If they're on Eastern time, great. Now, if you're in Pacific time, then that's a whole different story. But it's still possible where you can schedule text message, like a text message campaign or whatever, and you can schedule that campaign for the day after or by the time you work. So whenever those leads are coming in, someone else can close it for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna be really quick with this response. I'm just gonna talk really fast because I get this. So Zane, good to see you, dude. First and foremost, I'm gonna assume that you're talking about yourself and you have a W-2 full time and you're trying to see how can you meaningfully put input in. I would say this: if someone comes to me and they say, "Hey Sam, I'm full time with W2 and I want to call for you," the answer is no, you can't call for me. Right? Here's why: calling truly is dependent on one thing. I can track someone's success by and large based on, simply put, how many hours are they dialing. That is it. If that is the input, that is the valuable input to put in is your time, and you have the bulk of your time away because you're at work, and then when you are home, you want to be present with your family. Guess what? You're just not going to have a lot of time on the phone. If you don't have a lot of times on the phone, you're not going to have enough input to get the output. So if you come to me and say, "Hey Sam, I have a full-time job but I want to call for you," my answer is hell no. It doesn't mean you can't succeed. It just means you're trying to pick a position or a role that is incompatible with the circumstances of your life currently. So I'm a massive believer in playing to your strengths. So you have to decide, Zane. Let's just say it's you. Let's just say you don't have the time to make the call. So stop trying to make the call, right? Stop trying to be the guy on the phone. It may not even, you may not even like it, but you may realize, or you may step back and think, oh crap, I make $250,000 at my salary at my job. That's a ton of money. There's other strengths and other benefits that you can bring to a transaction outside of your time. The truth is, the guy doing acquisitions, the guy doing just pounding the phones all day, what they come to the table with is their time. You don't have that. So you have to look for another factor, another benefit, another trait that you can bring that'll help you get a transaction done or help a team get a transaction done. So with you, it can be very, very simple. It could be maybe you're funding marketing, maybe you're a lender, maybe you're a gator lender doing EMD transactions, or you're funding TC fees or something to that effect. Right now, let's just say you are absolutely gung-ho about creating a wholesale company and you have a good job. Now, this is not advice I give to everyone. So just because if you are listening to this, this is not the green light to go do it. You need to make this decision very carefully, and you need to do this based on a ton of different factors. This is what I would do, knowing everything I know. If I was full time, Alejandro Marlon, and I had a job that was paying okay, and guess what? It was a good job, good stable job, right? I had a nice credit score, but I really want to start a wholesale company, right? And I don't want to do anything else. I don't want to be someone's lender. I don't want to be a gator. I don't want to do all these other dumb things. I just want to have my own wholesale company, and I want to own that shit from the ground up. The reality is this, guys. I know tons of people who are making $1 million a year or more who work a full-time job. I actually know Nicole Cooper out of New York. She just retired. She was a school teacher, I believe, at an elementary or middle school, and out of New York, one of the toughest markets to be an investor, one of the toughest markets to wholesale and flip in. And as a full-time teacher, she was doing over $1 million a year. And you guys know this, a full-time teacher, that's not 40 hours. That's way more than 40 hours. That's way more than 40 hours of stress too. And she did over $1 million a year because of this. She leveraged her job and her W-2, her income there, right? I don't know if she did this specifically, but this is what I would do. I would leverage the credentials, the stable job, the government pay, all that stuff, the good credit score. I would go get business funding. I would leverage 0% interest credit cards, and I would then use all of this capital, this access to capital that I have now, to get two things. Number one is going to be coaching. Number one is the right mentorship from the right people. I would go and pay someone who's verifiably making millions a year for the entire blueprint to their entire business. And I would like to go one step further and have them help me, coach me in how to run that business, how to understand. Like, they can give me the blueprints and the skeleton of the business, but if they don't teach me like the nuances of running this type of business, I will fail. So I'm going to get their blueprints, right? I'm also going to get their coaching and their mentorship in enacting this business. And then with the rest of the business credit cards, right, the business funding that I have lying around, I can then go and backfill the positions. I can hire through top-down hiring, hire a director who's a people manager, and then train them on all these blueprints, all these SOPs, and have them backfill every role, have them start all the marketing. The reality is, depending on the job that you have, whether you've run a business yourself or not, fortunately, the amount of information and reputable sources there are in our industry, you can actually be someone at a W-2 full-time and still go crush it and make a wholesale business that does over $1 million, in its first 1 to 2 years. Totally possible. But you have to decide, are you okay with that risk tolerance, right? That risk tolerance is something that you have to decide internally. Go for it, Alejandro. I'm sorry, I like stole that away from you.
Oh, good. So let's just end it. Let's just end it here for those who have time but don't have money. Go to a company, reach out to them, join their team, see what department will bring you value, and see what expectations you're looking for. See if they're a good fit for you. You can reach out to me. I'm always looking for people. Or you can go to a free Facebook group. There's tons of free real estate group. Post on there, hey, I'm looking to join a team. This is how much time I have. I can make calls. Tons of people will reach out to you, and or you can reach out to them as well, slide in their DMs. Okay. You will learn a lot. You will literally get paid to learn. Okay. Now the second one, if you have some money, if you have some capital, a budget, but you don't have time, very easily, because there's tons of company. Sam, how many company would you say lack leads?
How many companies lack leads? Oh, a ton. It's actually, I would say a lot of times the biggest thing is a lot of companies will come in this industry and they'll start hiring a ton of people. They'll start, you come work for me, you come work for me. They'll have all these closers and lead managers and acquisition guys. And then the one of the biggest things I see with people who scale too fast is they bring on too many people and they don't have the lead flow to keep all those people happy. And then people go through starvation periods and then they leave. So 100% lead flow and lack of lead flow is a big issue.
Then they say wholesale sucks because of that one company. Eric said, "How do you find companies and teams willing to take the risk on us?" So I'll say it one more time. Maybe I don't know if it was delayed or anything. You can go to Facebook groups. You can reach out to me. My Instagram is @reallyalvarez. You can reach out to me. You'll join the Discord channel, and we have tons of people in my Discord channel that have their own business that will probably need some help from you. So that's one way to do it. Now, if you have some funds and you want to get into real estate and you want to make some money on the side, pay for the marketing. Pay for the marketing and make sure those leads that you're generating for your marketing are being handled by a company that knows how to close deals. Okay. I have people that does that. They bring leads. We do the closing, the lead managing, the TC stuff, the dispo. We all share the profits. Everyone makes money, and then eventually they start taking those revenue and start hiring out. Hey, Alvarez, I actually don't need a lead manager anymore. I just hired one. Okay. So that's one way to do it. Sam, was that a strategy of yours when you first started? Remember we had a conversation, bro. You were talking about some crazy scaling.
Yeah, so I actually did a flip version of that. So when I first got started, guys, because I was broke as a joke, and I knew I just didn't have the money to invest in marketing. I had a good skill set, but I didn't have the money. So I actually needed someone with this avatar, right? Someone who didn't have the time, but they had a ton of money. So what did I do? I actually went and found these people because at the time, Alejandro, I also was unemployed. So like I had a good credit score, but I wasn't going to go and be able to get access to 150K in marketing capital overnight. It wasn't going to happen. I just graduated grad school, right? So a broke college kid. So what did I have to do? I went and found someone who had the money, who had the income, but they had no desire to go build a thing. They had no desire to go talk to sellers. And I basically got them to front my marketing spend for me. And I gave them in the beginning, because I knew they were taking the risk and I wanted to honor that risk, I was giving them 70% of all profit in the beginning. And then after about a certain amount of deals, we were doing it 50-50. And then eventually I like weaned myself off, like did my own thing. But 100%, that person was giving me at a point $18,000 a month. I was having them fund texting at the time. And if you guys know, texting is extremely cheap. So 18,000 in texting is a lot of texting. It's a ton. 18 grand per month in texting, and they made a killing on it, and they did none of the work. But the key was they had to work with someone who absolutely knew what they were doing.
Was that like 500 plus leads a month, or was it more?
It was more. It was definitely more.
Jeez.
Yeah, we were crushing. We were doing 6-figure months on that. Like we were doing 130 grand plus on that.
That's amazing, bro. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's another way to do it. The second route, it's how to instantly get money. And guys, obviously, at least for me personally, I don't want to wholesale forever. Wholesale is cool, but to me, that is the foundation to build my wealth, which is kind of the route that Marlon took as well. He started wholesaling, eventually started buying real estate, Marlon, is it okay if I ask like how much real estate you have now
Yeah, I
and how
have.
long that took you?
Yeah. So I have a small portfolio of a little over 20 doors. So that was built over the course of approximately 18 months.
18 months. That's crazy.
That was when I got intentional. 18 months not of doing real estate, but 18 months of when I got intentional about beginning to hold on to property, and not just flip them and wholesale them.
Yeah. And I actually saw your Excel sheets when I went to Arizona. I'll never forget that day, bro. My mind was blown. Like what made Marlon, what made you, I guess what was a sign that okay, I'm wholesaling now, it's time for me to build my portfolio. What was that sign for you?
It was after I had done maybe my, like, it was somewhere after like deal number 10. I sat down and thought to myself, it's kind of odd that I'm feeling like I'm winning because I'm making these assignment fees, but clearly my investors are feeling like they're winning because they keep buying the properties from me, and they're willing to pay me more than what I have it contracted for. So if they're willing to spend more money on it and I keep getting rid of it, what am I not seeing? If these are investors, and arguably investors are people who spot value where other people don't, why do they want what I'm trying to get rid of?
Yep. Yep. So that's obviously the goal. I mean, for some people, have you, Sam, any big top wholesalers that you know that are still doing this full time and or think that that's what they're going to do for the rest of their life?
It's rare. It's extremely rare. Are there a few out there that do this just completely, that's like their active income? Yes, there are. But the reality is anyone who has a head on their shoulders, in my opinion, will eventually get to a point. I'll say there are guys who are doing 1 million plus a month in wholesale, but that's very much ego driven. The guys who are truly looking at building wealth the right way, they will eventually either kill their wholesale or dial it way back specifically to the markets they want to buy in, and they will eventually turn into like a full fledged buying spree. So for like me specifically, it's so weird, guys. We've got I believe 26 deals in escrow currently right now. We're going to be wholesaling
Wow.
probably all of them. Wholesaling, double closing, all. We're gonna be selling all of them. And ironically, I'm gonna be doing more transactions than I've ever done in my life now. But identity wise, dude, I identify more as a buyer now. It's the weirdest thing. Doing more deals than I've ever done in wholesale ever by far. Right? We'll probably be in 6 months from now, or in the next 6 months, we'll probably be at any given time at about 50 transactions in escrow at a time. And I
Mm,
will still identify more as a buyer than I will as a wholesaler. It's a really unique, cool thing, but that's a natural progression, right? Guys,
yeah.
we're doing that to build wealth.
Yeah. And what did it in this day and age, Sam, I would consider you a person that always ahead, at least of me, when it comes to the new marketing tools. Let's say this person has funds and a budget to start marketing. What would you recommend that person to go first?
Yeah, so it's going to depend. It'll depend specifically on a couple things. One, how much of a budget, right? How much of a budget? Two, very, very intentionally, what type of business do you want to build? Do you want to build a business that is do you want a massive sales team? Do you want a massive machine that, you feel like Jordan Belfort in Wolf of Wall Street, and you feel like you've got 95 people in front of you all just hammering calls, right? That big monstrous machine. Or do you want to do something that's very lean and effective and more of like a SEAL Team 6? Like, this is a group of assassins and we're going to keep everything lean, right? So what your business, right? I believe in building a life by design. You can actually build your business to have the same effect. So do you want to have 25 closers and and you're okay with making $1 million a year with 25 closers? Or do you want to be the person who has one closer and still makes $1 million a year? Right.
Mm,
Me, I like being lean. I like being efficient. So usually we're going to go into very niche things. You guys know cold calling and texting are being cracked down by the carriers. And what's really happening is bulk marketing is being hammered. That's what's happening. Bulk marketing. It's the pulling 20,000 records. It's the pulling 10, 15, 20,000 records every single month, hammering them with a 5-line cold caller. That is known as bulk marketing. That's getting wrecked by callers. What we're now finding is truly the riches are in the niches. So I would go into niche targeting. I'd go into niche data. I'd go into niche dialing. I'd go into niche marketing. That's really, really, really lean. And what I really like about all that is it allows me to run a lean company. I don't want to manage 55 people in my business, right? I want to manage 1 or 2. Like that's really it. I want to maximize that. So yes, 100%. I'd go hyper niche data, and then hyper niche targeting with your marketing channels. So very, very strict cold call and very unique niche direct mail campaigns.
Beautiful. I still can't believe from this day, bro. When I did my first deal on my own, which was like 11,000, it was 4 properties in Griffin, Georgia. I was in Texas, and this is another thing that people get stuck on. It's like, I'm in Colorado. Should I market in Colorado? Why? Just go to a market that works and it fits your budget. I went to Griffin, Georgia, because all I had was like $500, and I know the houses were cheap, and it was just a very small county or city, and I know I can get into a deal. Made 11 grand on 4 houses. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I just knew I need to get at a discount. The seller said, "I want this." I'm like, okay, just can I get $10,000 less? Sure. I got $10,000 less. Find a buyer on Facebook. This was the old days, man. Yeah, going on Facebook groups. Hey, I got a deal.
Dude, all I'll say is I love that you're mentioning that, because I see a lot of people trip up about this. I see a lot of new investors trip up about this. I think it's the dumbest thing. Not the investors being dumb, but the people they're listening to are saying dumb shit, and they're just listening to it. Influencers are dumb. I'll say that. Guys, the idea that you need to be married to your backyard is one of the dumbest things on earth. It is stupid. The only times it makes sense to be hyper targeted in a singular market is if you're doing one of 2 things. You're buying and holding it, right? Why? Because you need to have an intimate understanding of that marketplace and understand what's happening, what's working, what's not, the appreciation trends, the cash flow trends, the zip codes, how they perform. You also need to have your operators, right? Your crews, your maintenance people, your property management. If you're buying and holding, be specific in your markets, right? Don't just keep buying out in the middle of nowhere. If you've never been there, you don't know what it's like. You don't know anybody. So if you're buying and holding, be specific. If you're flipping, be specific. Flipping is volatile, right? Marlon, if I just sent you a deal in the middle of freaking Kentucky, would you, and it looks like a good flip, would you still do it?
No, probably not.
No, it's too much risk with a flip. There's a lot of liability on that, right? So you want to be really in depth in a specific market if you are buying and holding there, or if you are flipping there. But if you're just a newcomer to the marketplace and all you want to do is just get easy money in wholesale, don't be married to your backyard. Your backyard could suck. If you're a wholesaler and you want to start getting traction and your backyard is Phoenix, Arizona, or Los Angeles, California, or Metro Atlanta, you're going to get destroyed in your marketing competition, because you're up against the best in the world. You're up against hedge funds who have billions of dollars to spend, right? And it's going to drive the hardship you will go through to generate leads and deals. So 100% go where there's data, go where there's leads, and go where your spend or your inputs will get you really far. Be 100% open to new marketplaces, guys. I have, to this day, I still don't think I've done a deal in my backyard. No, I don't think I have. I mean, I may have. I don't think so. I can't even think of a single deal I've done in my own hometown. And my hometown's a great hometown. People crush it here. People make a lot of money flipping and wholesaling and buying and holding here. I don't think I've done a single transaction here. All of my deals, 100% virtual.
Beautiful. I have Bo Johnson here. Bo's actually pretty dope, man. He has very okay. Next time, Marlon. Thank you, brother. Bo has like his own little calendar in place that he holds himself accountable, and a lot of people lack from this. So he does Zooms on Sunday in our Discord as well to show people how to stay accountable with your calendar and consistent. So that's pretty cool. So Bo, shout out to you, man. Nice to see you. And then you're asking here, once you have some systems and process in place, good idea to buy back time by hiring trainees, VAs for lead gen while I focus on acquisition. I'm going to assume where you're asking is, once you have your systems in place, is it a good idea to hire a VA so you can focus on closing deals? That's what I'm going to assume what you're saying. And the answer for me, yes. One of the things that I learned from Sam early on is SOPs are very important. I didn't even know what the heck an SOP was for the first year of my business. And then I met Sam, like, oh shit, I was doing this incorrectly. And here's what I got from this, actually, Sam, and you can tell me other benefits of having your SOPs in place. But I think what's really important is that you do everything in your power to make sure that your employee understands exactly what they have to do. Because sometimes people hire, hey, do this, but they don't understand the consequences if they do what they're not supposed to do. They don't understand what is considered a good day. This was huge. For when I had my SOPs in place, people understood, well, if I do X throughout the day, that means I did a great job and I did exactly what I was supposed to do. That was one of them. The third one is, if they start asking you a question, hey, go back to the SOPs. Now you don't have to put your time aside while you're closing deals. Hey, go back to the SOP, and if you don't find the answer there, come back to me. Okay, it's their manual. It's their manual. Just like anything you buy has a manual, so it has instructions on how to properly use it. So if people are going to come into your business, where's your manual? It's like putting someone in a stick shift car and just get in there and learn how to drive a stick shift. What the heck? How do you do it? You
Yeah,
have to have
you're absolutely right, dude. It's I pour into so many other business leaders, and they don't realize this, that as a business owner, your job is not just to hire people and train them. It is to set up not just your employees, but your leadership. I view my position very much not even to look after like my lowest level employees, like and that sounds messed up, but I just mean like the lowest entry employees. My job isn't even to look after them. My job is to pour into my leadership. It is to pour into them and give them every resource on earth they could ever need to successfully execute their role. And when you approach business with that mindset, you'll actually realize your job isn't to be a boss. Your job is just to be a big brother. Your job is to be a big brother who's looking after your younger sibling. You're going to help them, right? You're going to help them succeed by giving them all the tools, all the resources, all the access they could ever need. Your job is to basically set them up to succeed. And that is by modeling what success needs to look like, showing them how to define that, defining it for them ideally. And also, when you're training leadership, it's also getting your leadership to start critically thinking. Training your leadership to critically think is a huge, huge thing that no one talks about, but that's going to help them also problem solve while you're gone in your absence. And that's huge. My leadership guys, like it got pushed off till tomorrow, but we were basically closing a $21,000 deal today. I didn't know that deal was blowing the hell up. But my leadership got it handled. We're fine. We're going to close tomorrow. We're just going to be A-okay. We're going to close 21K on that deal. And then we've got apparently another deal or two that I had no freaking clue that we were closing. We're closing them. And I'm not CC'd on jack shit. And I know there was a lot of crap that went on with both of these deals or all three of these deals, but my leadership has been trained and poured into that when problems arise, they have the resources that they can go tap into. And then I've also trained them to critically think and handle problems too. And there was a lot of time investment for me to do that. But guys, guess what? Your job as a business owner isn't to be a boss. It's probably not even to be a leader. Your job is to be a mentor to a leader and let them freaking lead. When you understand that, you unlock scale, in my opinion.
Yep. Well said, brother. And Eric asked, what is my Discord and separate YouTube? I put the link in the comments, Eric.
There you go.
So you should have that. Other than that, oh wow, we're 4 minutes over.
Yeah, we are.
Anything else you want to close us off with? Want to leave us with?
Yes. So real quick, guys. Next Saturday on the 23rd. Is that next Saturday? Next Saturday, not this Saturday. Next Saturday. I want you all. I'm going to be very honest here, because I get probably 50 DMs a day at this point, and you guys who DM me know this. It's very difficult to get a response from me. It's not because I don't love you. It's just because I'm getting inundated with them. I need to it's just difficult to get through them all. Next Saturday. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care. Even if it's your anniversary with your wife, babe, you can wait. Tell her that. She will understand. It's okay. Next Saturday, clear your calendars. Clear your calendars. You need to be available. We're going to go probably between 4 to 6 hours straight. and I am going to give away every damn marketing secret I've ever come across that I know that helped me make well over $1 million a year. I'm going to give all of it away completely for free. And guys, this is stuff where I'm in all the masterminds, I'm in all the mentorships. I'm creating the masterclass right now. From now till then. And I am going into every one of those mentorships and those masterminds, all the resources they give me. And guys, I've spent over $150,000 to be in them. And I'm making sure my free presentation makes all of them look like shit. So next Saturday, you need to be available. Why? It will not be recorded. I won't give out recordings. It's not going to be on YouTube. There will be no replays given out. It doesn't freaking matter, so don't ask. And then most importantly, it's another big thing. Not only am I going to give you all of this away, I'm also going to be dropping probably between $5,000 to $10,000 of my own money on giveaway items for attendees. Yeah. So, and if you guys want the link for that, go to my Instagram at Arch Samsung. So look me up on Instagram. Go to my bio. You're going to see the links right there. Register for marketing secrets. You need to be there, because if you're not, don't get mad at me when you go drop 50, 60 grand on someone's shitty mentorship and learn a quarter of what I taught for free.
Boom. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys for watching. Again, if you got any value, share with your friends. Post it on Instagram. Tag us. We'll repost it. And DM us whatever issues you have in your business or whatever issues you have propelling forward in your goals. And we would love to help you the best way we can. Other than that, see you guys next time, Tuesday, 5 p.m. Arizona time. It doesn't matter whether the time change in any other place, is always 5 p.m. Arizona time.